This is Audible Grown with Paul Brunell and Stephen Carroll, the pop culture podcast covering sports, movies, and everything in between. Enjoy the show. Welcome, everyone, to a mini episode of Audible Grown. We thought it would be a really good idea to come together and talk about the end of an era. Last episode, we talked about the upcoming PlayStation 5 games, but as we're only months away from release, there are a handful of PS4 games still being released, and we thought, what better time than now to talk about the final exclusive releases coming to PS4, as well as cross-platform titles. It's truly the end of an era, and we have a lot to look forward to, even now.
The end of an era.
Yeah, and even at the end, there's still like so much coming out. Really good stuff.
Yes, plus some games that will be available on both PlayStation. So.
Yeah, and those are usually the sports titles, but they're doing like Avengers, Cyberpunk are all coming out cross-platform.
Yeah.
And I think it's probably one of the best times to end a generation. Because we're at a point where technology is getting better, but it's even better for PS4 because it's not going out without a bang. It's going out with like really, really good titles.
Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, we're going to preview these games. But if you have a PS4 and you can't get a PS5 right away, man, you still have a lot to hold you over till you can get the money.
Yes, they're not leaving you hanging.
No, so without further ado, welcome to a mini episode. We are going to discuss the future, as in the next 4 months, but whatever. So we actually they just released the SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated.
Yes, and we just got our hands on it, so...
Yeah, we played like 2 levels, and man, I remember playing this when I was a kid. It's bringing back memories, and it's so beautiful, too.
Yes, it's like a whole different game, almost.
Yeah, the graphics are just like so colorful.
But it's the bravest SpongeBob game I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's. I remember you made a comment about how it's like someone just took out a box of Crayolas and just colored.
Yeah.
And like really, really bright. And it looks really like there's a lot of areas, a lot of collectibles, a lot of hidden things. It looks like a really big game, and you're definitely getting the bang for your buck at $40.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what we're playing on right now. I know The Last of Us is a really big thing, but man, I got to tell you,
dark.
This is like the exact opposite. You know, so if you're not in the mood for a dark, depressing, gritty game like The Last of Us, definitely pick up SpongeBob. It's the complete opposite.
Like I've watched a playthrough of The Last of Us, at least most of one, and I had to stop for a while now because it's just so dark.
It's so unrelenting.
It's a good game, man.
Yeah, I mean, like, man, the reviews are unbelievable. And touching on the user reviews, though, it has like a 4.0 out of 10 based off like over 100,000 reviews. So people are review bombing the game. We're not going to spoil it here, but there are a lot of things that happen that people aren't really happy about.
Yeah.
But go play for yourself and decide.
And surprisingly, the reviews for the SpongeBob game are surprisingly low and negative.
Yeah, like 2 out of 10, 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10.
I don't know.
It's like, man.
I don't know what people are expecting.
Yeah, I don't know. Like innovation, I guess. I don't know. It's a remake.
From a remake.
Yeah, and you know, look at the target audience. The target audience is either new kids who are growing up at SpongeBob or adults who grew up at SpongeBob. So we kind of fit into that second category.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So we know exactly what we want. So it's great, regardless of what people think. Yeah. And then Sucker Punch is closing out the PS4 generation for them with Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, which is set in. We talked about it before. It's set in feudal Japan. And you play this warrior, and you have to become... Your father is very traditional.
You follow the wind. It's like
yeah, it's really cool.
Samurai.
Yeah.
Epic
Yep, yep, yep. Your father's like really traditional, and then Mongols invade your country, and you have to learn the way of the ghost. That comes out 2 weeks from Friday, so definitely, we will definitely be talking about it in a future episode.
Episode 11, most likely.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we'll record 11 probably before it comes out, but we'll definitely preview it and see what people are thinking.
Maybe the early reviews
will be in by then. We'll see. We'll see. They're also releasing a game in August called Windbound, and we saw a couple trailers. It almost looks like Final Fantasy, The Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
It looks like an indie game, and it looks like there's like a lot of fantasy elements. You're stuck on this island. You crash, you're shipwrecked, and you're trying to survive, and you can collect resources and hunt animals. But you like wear the seashell around your neck that looks like it has these magical powers. So it looks like cell shaded graphics.
I really got like a Zelda vibe.
It looks a lot like what the heck was it? The last Zelda game, Breath of the Wild.
Yep.
It looks like that kind of fantasy adventure. And it looks interesting. I feel like it'll probably be a lower price point, and it looks really appealing to people who love that kind of mystery fantasy. Kind of crossover with the art style of Zelda.
And another interesting one, Twin Mirror.
Yeah, they had the trailer for that 2 years ago. Twin Mirror looks like it's... We were watching the trailer earlier, and I kind of felt like it's like Heavy Rain meets like Life is Strange. Yeah. Yep, like that really hard-boiled police procedural, but like with like supernatural elements.
Yes.
Like you can enter your mind
like
and
decision-based game like that.
And that's actually it's even more like Life is Strange because when I checked it out online, it's episodic.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So definitely a Life is Strange vibe.
Yeah.
To it.
Yeah, like a little bit of Sherlock Holmes, like, mystery, mind palace kind of thing. And that there's no release date for that yet, but they had the first teaser was like 2 years ago. So, man, how time flies.
It got delayed multiple times, probably, because the trailer...
Yeah, 2019, right?
2019.
Yeah, it did. We'll see how that goes. I mean, it could be good. It could... Sometimes those episodic games, a lot of reviewers are a little more harsher on them. So I know Life is Strange 2, most of the episodes get poor reviews. Believe it or not.
Probably the Batman Telltale series is the standard for episodic games, I feel.
That and The Walking Dead was huge.
Yeah.
Absolutely huge. And then Square Enix is trying its hand at superheroes of all developers. They're releasing the Avengers. That was actually supposed to come out on May 25th, but that's coming out now in September 4th, I think. And you can also upgrade it for free to the PlayStation 5. But we saw like almost over half an hour of gameplay, and it looks amazing.
It was amazing, and there's a big development in the beginning. But for those of you who haven't seen it, I don't want to be spoiled. We won't spoil.
Yeah, you can go and watch it now. They're like Square Enix is kind of saying this is not a spoiler. We're going to show you right away, so there must be a lot of other surprises. But go watch the trailer and see. It kind of happens. You find out that the first gameplay that they showed was actually from the beginning, and they kind of blame the Avengers for a big event that happened, and they have to regroup and defeat MODOK.
It's shocking.
Yeah, it's really interesting. It looks like a little bit of a darker take, but we'll see. And then, of course, the developers of The Witcher, CD Projekt Red, is releasing. It's probably the most anticipated game of 2019 before The Last of Us in 2020. Sorry, and that is Cyberpunk 2077. Actually, delayed a couple times. Yeah, they revealed that thing like in
2017.
No, they actually had their first reveal, I think, like in 2012.
Really?
And then they revealed it like they had more.
Long?
They had more info in 2016. Yeah, a long time.
Yeah.
But have you seen more of it than I have? I haven't seen too much.
No, I probably seen the same amount you have, because I remember seeing it at E3 maybe a few years ago now.
Yeah, I don't know too much about it.
Why I had 2017
Yep.
In my head.
Yeah, they've talked about that. I mean, man, they've been working on this game for a very, very long time, and the goose is cooked at this point. But they're also doing cross-platform, so you hopefully be able to upgrade for free.
Yeah.
I feel like with a game like that, it's coming out in November, so like right around the time the PS5 comes out. So I figured you're gonna have the choice right away.
Before.
Yeah, supposedly the PS5 is coming out on the 20th. But you'll definitely have the choice to buy it on whatever console you want. I think like on day one.
Yeah.
So we'll shoot for the PS5 version because it looks beautiful, and Keanu Reeves is in it. Like you can't lose.
Like that's a win-win.
That was a big secret. They kept that secret for a long time.
Yeah.
Yep. And then Assassin's Creed continues its 13-year run with Vikings Valhalla. And Ubisoft is having its press conference this month, so we'll probably see more gameplay.
What amazing based on what I saw. So
yeah, the cinematics are like beautiful. Oh, there goes my phone. That's okay. No worries.
Live recording. That's okay.
So, yeah, it looks fantastic. Right now I'm playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which is the game right before, set in ancient Greece. And this one looks like it's going to be even bigger and better.
Yes.
And that comes out in no release date, actually. They're just saying holiday. But I'm assuming PS4 and PS5 release will be on the same day.
Probably
day and date.
Around Christmas time, I would imagine.
Yeah, they usually come out in November, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's a launch title.
Yeah.
So we'll see. No confirmed price point for PS5 yet, but it'd be interesting to see what the sales are. I remember in the beginning they were talking about how demand was going to be tough because of the coronavirus, but we'll see if they're able to kind of meet the demand.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like it's going to be a situation where you're going to have to pre-order beforehand, or you're going to have a really hard time getting your hands on one.
And did we end up talking about Sony E3 conference on the last episode? I can't remember.
Yeah, for the big PS5 reveal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty much the whole episode.
I was gonna bring that up, but we covered that in.
Yeah, they didn't reveal everything.
Episode.
Yeah, they didn't reveal the price or the release date. But if it's to be believed, we're looking at $499 standard, $399 digital, releasing on November 20th. $69.99 for the controllers, $69.99 for the video games, $59.99 for the camera.
Digital.
You're going digital, man. I can't put down the sweet disc base, the feel of a new game in your hand, the smell of the plastic. I love it so much.
I like it, but I don't like worrying about CDs.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame it. A lot of the world now is going towards digital.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can go on with that young generation. I'm going to stay a crotchety old man who loves my disc-based games.
I'm not gonna call you old man. It's not gonna happen.
We're basically like video game baby boomers because we hate online multiplayer and love single player games
and
like everyone else
the
used to.
PS5 is going back to that.
Like a focus on single player games.
Thank God.
Yeah. Listen, man, there's nothing wrong with those multiplayer games, but this seems so shallow. It's all behind loot crates and spending money. I'm going to say back in my day, unironically, but back in my day, when you played a video game, you just unlocked things through pure progression. There was no paywall. You didn't have to pay money. There was no greed like that we're seeing now. We have to pay $1,000 to progress. EA, we're looking at you. Don't listen to this. But back then, it was just story-driven, single-player, powerful narratives. You know, and they still have that with a lot of games. The Last of Us is doing that. You know, Ghost of Tsushima. But there's like an increase in that style of play.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see if that's obviously going to continue. I mean, look at Fortnite.
I still don't get it, but okay.
I'm just waiting for the movie announcement. That'll come at some point. Gods and Monsters, which is a PS5 game, is actually also coming out for PS4, which I didn't know. Watch Dogs Legion, the sequel to Watch Dogs 2, looks amazing. We saw that like 2 years ago.
I feel like they've been teasing
a long time
forever.
Do you remember the gameplay that we saw where you could take over as a grandma and like infiltrate like babies and stuff?
Yeah.
That looked amazing.
I instantly wanted to do that after seeing them.
Yeah, and she had like a cool British accent, like James Bond's grandmother.
Be like a granny.
Yep. I'm not even going to try to do the accent. I'm going to embarrass myself. It's just like, man, I could see that becoming a cheesy action movie where it's like an old grandma who, like, you know, has her tea and crumpets and then she shoots your face off.
Yeah.
You know?
Just another day in England, I guess.
Yeah, we'll see. But that looks really great. That's coming out for PS5 too. Mm-hmm. And like the whole shtick is that you can like pretty much play like that anyone in the city. There's no NPCs essentially.
Insane. Like,
yep.
What an undertaking that is.
Yeah.
Like,
yep. And we should touch on Vampire, The Masquerade, Bloodlines 2, which I've never heard of.
I didn't
even know there was a first one.
It's
an RPG and you're a vampire in Seattle. I don't know anything about it.
Yes, there are no words, which is a bad thing on a podcast because you need words, obviously.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, man, I don't even know what the first game got as far as reviews go.
I do not have any words at the moment.
We're gonna do this live, folks. I'm so curious to see how this first game did.
Save me from rambling on.
Man.
Please.
Vampire, The Masquerade. Here it is. It's a role-playing game that first came out in 1991 as a board game. Okay. And then there were a lot of role-playing games, collectible card games. So there's actually Vampire the Masquerade Redemption, and then Bloodlines, and then Bloodline 2. So the first one came out in 2000. Bloodlines came out in 2004. And then finally, all these years later, we're getting a second one. 2004. Yep. The story follows a human in 21st century Seattle who is killed and revived as a thin blood vampire with relatively weak vampiric abilities. Coming out for PS4 and PS5. That's interesting.
This game must have like a cult following.
It's got to.
Right up until today, I never even heard of it. So.
Yeah, and I don't want to sound like I'm bashing it. We're just not fans of it. I'm sure there are fans of it who can't wait for it.
And I still don't know what it is other than you play a vampire who was
in Seattle.
Human in Seattle.
I really hope this character has a coffee addiction.
But it would only
like I like blood, but caffeine will do.
It would only make sense.
Yeah, like they got to do it, or they're missing a severe opportunity.
They gotta put a Nirvana song in that game. They have to.
Yeah. Is there any particular reason for that?
Because they're from.
They're from Seattle.
Seattle.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like there's a lot of songs that would fit that kind of thing, you know. Yep, and then we saw a few years ago they released a teaser for this pirate game called Skull and Bones that looked really cool.
Yeah.
No update on that yet, but I'm assuming I think that's Ubisoft.
That feels.
Is that Ubisoft?
Forever ago.
But
I think it is.
If it's Ubisoft, then we should get an update for their conference later this month. And then I'm really excited about Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga.
Yep. They are milking the saga to the bare end.
So basically what they did was they released the first one in 2005, which was the prequels. Then they released Lego Star Wars 2, the original trilogy. Then they released Lego Star Wars, the complete saga, which was the first 6 movies. Then they released Lego Star Wars 3, the Clone Wars. And now they have Lego Star Wars 4, or just Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga, which is all 9 games.
They are getting every last bit out of this.
Not to mention they also released Lego Star Wars The Force Awakens. So the only Star Wars movies they haven't adapted for Lego was The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it though. I will buy any Lego Star Wars.
Yeah, I am too.
Yeah.
I'm not bashing it. I'm saying like they're milking it to the very end.
Oh yeah, they want as much money as they can get. Yeah. I don't know. It's exciting though. We'll see.
I'm not complaining. I'm just
Yeah.
pointing out the fact.
I'm glad you're clarifying because you're going to get those comments. Oh, you don't like it? I mean, no, I
I'm
like it.
the biggest Star Wars fan, maybe.
Me too.
Or one of the
One of
biggest.
them.
Please don't kill me on social media.
There's going to be like one person who's seen every single movie 30 times over, and he's like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
And then there's some fan favorites, like Psychonauts is getting a sequel. That was a huge game. Dying Light is getting a sequel, aptly titled Dying Light 2. Spelunky, which was cave mining, is getting a sequel. There's a game called Boundary, which is like a first-person shooter in space. That's coming out for PS4.
Yeah. We saw a bit of gameplay for that. That was cool, and that was in pre-alpha.
Yeah, that was pre-alpha footage, and it looked really nice.
The stuff that we saw. So.
Yep. So I'm really excited. There's a lot of... God, like... These last few months or early next year for PS4 is huge. Like, you got AAA titles. We just got The Last of Us, Ghost of Tsushima, Avengers, Cyberpunk, Assassin's Creed. Like, there's still a lot of stuff to look forward to. Lego Star Wars.
Like, can you remember the last games that come out for the PS3? Like, is this lineup better than...
Well, it's interesting because the PS3 kind of ended. Their big swan song was The Last of Us.
Okay.
So they went out with a bang.
Yeah.
Yeah, they went out. Yep. And then obviously, like, Assassin's Creed Black Flag came out at that time, and that was dual platform like Valhalla is. That was huge.
Okay.
And that was one of the best Assassin's Creed games of all time.
Yeah.
So I think the future is bright. Fear not. If you can't afford a PS5 just yet, you still got a lot to look forward to.
Yeah.
Yep. I think that's about it. I think that closes us out for the future of PS5.
Okay.
Well, PS4. A lot to look forward to.
Sound good.
Yeah, so keep your eyes out on any gaming news. As we go forward into the future, we'll do episodes on PS5. We'll talk about the future there.
I will keep sharing stuff on social media.
Yeah, we're trying to grow our fan base here, so please listen.
On Instagram, Facebook.
Yeah, a lot of cool stuff coming up.
YouTube.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Look forward to, we're going to be back in the studio soon. We still got our very special episode planned for the end of the month, so keep your eye out for that.
Because it's our year anniversary.
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
Yep, so it's going to be great. We hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for listening, and keep gaming.
We'll talk to you real soon.
See you later.
Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed the show. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and until next time, we hope you don't audibly groan.